I'd like to welcome you all to the Top 10 Pain Releasers, Self-Help Techniques for Reducing Stress and Pain. My name is Arlene Green. I'm actually the author of the book and the creator of the workshop. This is actually, for those of you watching it on videotape, a hands-on training, a class that we're teaching here at the U.S. Kinesiology Training Institute in Chapel Hill. Today what we're going to be doing is learning the top 10 techniques for pain and learning a wide array of basically very simple, user-friendly, effective techniques that you have literally at your fingertips to be able to help both yourself, your family, and your friends. We'll be going over not only the techniques, but I'll also be sharing with you some applications, some stories of how these techniques have been used. I'd like to also share a little bit of the history of kinesiology, where these techniques came from, as well as just a little bit of theory of kinesiology so that you can understand how these techniques work. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as we go through the course. Many times people learn from other people's questions, so that's quite fine. We'll have a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of a background on kinesiology. I'll be teaching you a technique called the auricular massage, or auricular exercise, which has to do with the ear. We'll also be talking about the importance of water for pain relief. Most people think of water only in external pain relief, but we'll also be looking at its internal implications. We'll also be looking at a very simple technique for releasing muscle cramps and spasms that will take you about 5 seconds to do. That will be very useful. I'll also teach you how to do what we call the meridian massage, which is tracing the acupuncture meridian system actually fully clothed, so you won't actually have to be doing it in the context of a massage. You could do it anytime, anywhere, and I'll be teaching you how to do it on yourself as well as with another person. There's another technique I'll be teaching in this class that's kind of fun that works with music, so I'll be teaching you how music has been very effective for pain relief. Then part of the class will be muscle testing. Muscle testing is sort of the basis of all the systems of kinesiology, and it's an art and a skill, and so we'll be taking a little bit of time today to go over how to do muscle testing. And then with muscle testing, you'll learn 2 techniques that require muscle testing. Most of the techniques in this class, actually, you don't need to muscle test in order to use, but the 2 techniques that you will need to use muscle testing are the specific neuromuscular reset and energy stroking. Those are a couple techniques I actually developed over my years of using kinesiology that really integrates massage work and kinesiology. The other techniques that we're going to be doing are the neurolymphatic massage, neurolymphatic reflexes in the body. The neurovascular balance is one that is especially effective for stress relief. Most of the techniques you'll learn today are actually very effective for physical pain, but the neurovascular balance is really effective for emotional stress. And then last but not least, we have the Brazilian toe massage. Sometimes I get people come to the classes because they're very intrigued by the exotic-sounding name Brazilian toe massage. It's actually a very simple technique and does not require muscle testing, and we will end the class with the Brazilian toe massage today. Just to give you a little bit of my background and how I came to kinesiology, I was introduced to Touch for Health, kinesiology, and applied kinesiology back in 1978. Touch for Health actually was developed back around 1973, so I had the good fortune to hear of it early on. Applied kinesiology, as I'll tell you a little bit more of the history in a minute, actually started back in the 60s. Back in 1978, I was having some health problems. I had just moved to St. Louis. My ex-husband was starting chiropractic school, and I had a month where I had a headache and nausea every day for pretty much the entire month. And I had seen a couple chiropractors, and nothing seemed to be helping. And then a friend, actually one of the students, a friend of my ex-husband, said to him, "We have a chiropractor that we go to who's just fabulous. He uses this thing called muscle testing. And he can seem to do most anything with everyone. He takes care of many different kinds of ailments, sometimes in one visit." So, of course, that sounded good to me because I wasn't quite ready to go see the traditional doctors. Wanted to try the alternatives first. And when I went to him, he used muscle testing and was able in literally one session to be able to identify not only where the symptoms were, which of course I was aware of, but also what some of the causes of the problems were, and to be able to address them so that by the time I left his office, my headache was gone and the next day the nausea was gone, which was pretty impressive in and of itself. What was more impressive was that 3 weeks later, I actually had a blood test done that confirmed some of his results. He had indicated that one of the problems was a severe vitamin E deficiency, and he said I needed to take really a phenomenal amount of vitamin E initially, much more so than I thought was probably acceptable. And I figured, well, since my headache and nausea are gone, I won't take that. But later, the blood test actually confirmed his results. And when I saw that, and I saw the degree to which it confirmed his results, I was so impressed that I said, this is something I definitely want to learn. And about 3 years later, I had the good fortune to enroll in a master's program in holistic health near where I was living. And as a part of that program, I took the Touch for Health training. My Touch for Health instructor was actually a chiropractic student who had 8 children at the time. She now has 10. And aside from the fact that the class was very exciting and we had some pretty remarkable experiences in the class, what really impressed me was how she used this outside of class within her own family. She talked about when she was giving birth, how she would use these techniques to help make the labor go easier. But what was really impressive was when I would go visit her, and I remember one day we were standing in the kitchen and one of her children fell off the swing in the backyard, came in, was crying, and she just knew the right places to touch the child, and within about 30 seconds, less than a minute, the child had a big smile on its face, went out and started playing again, and I thought, wow, I want to learn this that well, that I can basically have what I need at my fingertips and be able to help people. And so watching her was really the inspiration for not only studying this more, but really this class, because these techniques are basically that. It's sort of a synthesis of many of the really simple techniques that you have at your fingertips to use. So that was sort of my introduction to Touch for Health, kinesiology, and I studied with many different instructors over the years. I've also studied the practitioner, professional training in kinesiology.